Barcelona have a very tough match in an all-out Catalan derby against Girona in matchday 21 in La Liga. And certainly this game can provide a lot of answers to questions that we may be asking ourselves. Are Barcelona going to rotate? Are Barcelona going to discard La Copa del Rey? Certainly if we start a very good and all-out starting 11 in this one, I believe that maybe the possibility that Copa del Rey is no longer an interest for our players. So let's discuss that and much more in this preview. What's going on, guys? ¿Cómo están? Boys here, welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're going to be taking yet again another look at a match preview, and this time it's going to be Girona versus Barcelona in La Liga. And I think this one is going to be a tough game. Girona have proved that in midweek playing against Real Madrid, they're no easy feat. So let's go ahead and let's try to get a win, because we certainly need one after that horrible defeat that we suffer against Sevilla. So just like we always do, let's start off by taking a look at how the two teams approach this game. And well, in the case of Barcelona, we see that right now we've been taking very good results, although 2 losses in La Copa del Rey. And if that is not a very big indication that perhaps our squad doesn't want to win that competition, I don't know what it is. I still encourage, once again, like I always say, Barcelona to go for all 3 trophies, because that's what makes us better than the rest. Winning the Champions League, of course, is an amazing feat, but it's just not the same, you know, to go all out, try to win the game, and if you lose, fair play. But right now, I feel that Barcelona are not trying. We're just seeing how far we can go by rotating the squad. But well, that's one thing on its own. We have to talk about that later. But let's focus actually now on the other 4 wins that Barcelona has had in recent games. And we can see that out of those 4 wins, Barcelona has only conceded 2 goals. So that's a very good thing, and I would like that for Barcelona to continue. That for me is the most important thing, and I always repeat myself, but it's that valuable for me in my eyes. Keeping a clean sheet can really take you a long way, because there's no way you're gonna get beaten if you concede goals. You know, if you have a good defense, the other team doesn't score, then it's only up to you and your responsibility to score your own goals to try and win that game. And that's a thing and point that I think that Barcelona need to continue. It has gotten a little bit down of late, certainly in La Copa del Rey, but that's because we've played another different squad. But well, in La Liga, we seem to have already that locked down. These last 2 games have also led us to open up and believe that perhaps there are other players in our squad that can help us a lot when coming into this, I'll call it kind of like almost final third of the season, you know, that final push when you have all the free competitions. We see that people like Carlos Arena have been turning up really good, especially in the last few matches. And well, in return, we have others like Philippe Coutinho, which just seems to be drifting away from their normal form. I feel that the injury to Ousmane and Dembele that also suffered against, was it against Leganés, if I'm not wrong? I feel that we have to keep in mind, because now this can open up opportunities for other people like Malcolm or people like Coutinho to continue getting consistent game time. So I would like to see what Valverde is planning for this one, and I'll talk about what is my opinion later on. But I'll give you this moment to leave in the comment box down below. What do you think we should do? Who should replace Ousmane and Dembele for the upcoming games? On the other hand, now, if we take a look at Girona, well, they've not been having the greatest of times, I might say, because they have got it 4 draws and 2 losses in the last 6 games, which is not good at all. Certainly coming into this game, Girona are going to be having a little bit of a low motivation, and what otherwise would be a very hard game, which right now is an incognito. We don't know what's going to happen. I feel that it can result in something very similar to what we saw against Espanyol. That game against Espanyol, where they've been just dropping in form, and when it came that moment to have that derby, they just weren't up to scratch. So something very similar to that, in my eyes, could happen in this game. But for that to happen, also, we must be playing our cards right. And with that being said, let's move onwards into my starting 11. Thinking and picking the players that we're going to feature in this game was just actually a very hard task, because I have absolutely no idea how Ernesto Valverde is going to manage this dual competition thing that we have right now. Is he going to rotate a little bit but be a little bit more secure in La Liga, or was he going to just put an all-out team in this one, trying to get the 3 points against Girona in a difficult ground, and then just continue rotating in La Liga despite our match against Sevilla that we need to come back? So it's just very difficult in my eyes. What can Barcelona do in this one? So the very first lineup that I can see right now Valverde doing is something very similar to what we saw against Leganés. You know, resting some players but also incorporating other aspects of our rotation squad in it. So I'm going to go in the goalkeeper position with Marc-André ter Stegen. For the right, I think we could see Sergi Roberto. The two defenders on this game, in my eyes, could be Gerard Piqué and Thomas Vermaelen, or he could also surprise us by putting Lenglet and Vermaelen. I do think that Valverde is thinking of putting Vermaelen in this game because we'll just have to rotate later on. So in the left-hand side, I'm going to go with Jordi Alba. And the pivot in the midfield three is going to be Sergio Busquets. In front of Sergio Busquets, I'm going to go with Arthur Melo and then with Arturo Vidal. I feel Ivan Rakitic could also make an appearance in this game instead of the Chilean. And that could happen in my eyes because this game is a little bit more open just by the single way of how Girona play. You know, Girona play in a way which just are very, very exposed at the back, and having someone like Rakitic that has that extra level of cutting edge in passing ability could just help us to finish off this game a little bit easier. But still, I would like to have Arturo Vidal because right now I'm not too keen in letting away our defensive solidity, especially after the 2 goals that we conceded against Sevilla. So I would like Arturo Vidal in that squad in front of Rakitic, although I could also understand the creation starting. And then up top, I'm going to go with something very similar to what we saw from Valverde against Leganés. I'm going to go with Lionel Messi as a false 9. Through the left, Philippe Coutinho, and then through the right, Malcolm. I feel that this one could be a good chance for all of those players to get understanding between each other, especially Coutinho playing with Messi, because it seems that whenever they play, they just like stumble into each other's path, and well, Philippe Coutinho doesn't like to play his own game. This is something that I also kind of like want to highlight. Whenever Barcelona signs a player, it's very hard also for the player to adapt, because you have to remember that being yourself at another club, being the star man at that club like Coutinho was at Liverpool, then it's a completely different role where you're playing at Barcelona. People think that you have to play for Messi, and that's completely the opposite. Messi, what he does, makes everybody else better. So if you continue doing your own role like Coutinho did at Liverpool, then he will be a better player here, because then he has better support of someone like Lionel Messi. So I feel that that is something that he must understand. He does not need to play for Messi. He doesn't need to show for Messi. Messi, I don't think that wants that either. He wants Philippe Coutinho to do his own thing and be his own player. So I believe that that could be the key for opening up Philippe Coutinho to get back from his confidence. Someone needs to make him understand that. And then also Malcolm could get a lot of game time in this one, especially taking into account that Dembélé is out. And I think that really he needs to start getting some traction here, because later on in the Champions League, we're going to have a game where he's going to be like, I don't know, Barcelona versus blah, 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 Manchester United. And we need like somebody just fast to break through the lines, just completely take Phil Jones to the ground. And that one could be Malcolm. You know, in the last minutes, Malcolm comes in, scores a goal. He needs to get that sort of confidence, because after all, we're not going to sell him in this January transfer window. So he's still part of the squad, and we gotta think he is, so we gotta utilize him to the best. And now, what can Barcelona do to counteract this Girona team? This Girona team that is playing right now a 3-4-3, a Girona team which is very deadly whenever they have the chance to score. And I feel that we may suffer a little bit of why Barcelona would want to sign Cristian Stuani in this window, because man, he's been in a good form this season, and certainly from support with people up top like Borja Garcia and Christian Porto, then he's going to have a very good field day. I feel that Borja Garcia, if he's out, because he right now has a minor injury, let me see what exactly it is. He has a minor hamstring problem, but if he is expected to play in that position, I feel that we may need somebody to watch him, because he has been the main creative player for Girona this season. Certainly also two people that we must take into account is Valery Fernandez and also Pedro Porro. They have been the fullbacks, very two youngsters from Girona, both 19 years old, that they can really hurt us if we are not careful. Certainly, I feel that is why I prefer to start Arturo Vidal, someone that can just keep an eye on them and just basically command people like Sergio Roberto or Jordi Alba to try and do the dirty work on that one. But we need Vidal in the middle to just try to stop any passes that they may put in to the box whenever they have the chance to do it. So I feel that overall Barcelona, what needs to watch out for is those 3 players. Well, if you want to account Borja Garcia as well, we don't know whether he's going to start or not. But overall, I feel that this game may be a tough one, in the sense that if we don't have the right mentality, we can certainly get overrun by this team. Girona team is dangerous, you know, that's the main thing to say. A team like Girona demands you, and when a team demands you, you have to be on point always. That's the thing that I said before on La Copa del Rey. Whenever before the draw, and we take a look at all the teams, I said that all the teams that are in this draw, Espanyol, be it Girona, they all are teams that make you remain focused. You know, you cannot go in there and expect to get the win. No, you have to work for that win. There are teams out there, yes, I may say, teams like Huesca, teams like Rayo Vallecano, teams where you can expect to get the 3 points no matter what happens, just because individual play. But against teams like a Girona, where they have a constant style of play, that they know what they're doing, even though they have not been getting the results, you have to remain focused and calm and do exactly what you have to do for this one. So I feel that that's exactly what Barcelona should try and do to get the win. So now, with that being said, who do I think is going to win this game? Well, I certainly believe that Barcelona are going to win this game. There are not too many times where you're gonna see me say a result like a loss. Sometimes I may say that, especially if we are very bad in the Champions League or stuff like that. But in this one, that's easy. I feel that Barcelona can get the win. I feel that if we take ourselves seriously, there's no way that Girona can hurt us. But that's the thing. Are we going to take ourselves seriously? Obviously, taking into account the Sevilla comeback. In all honesty, it all depends about how much the other players value that comeback against Sevilla. Do they really think that they can do it? Do they think that it's worth the risk? That's the thing. If they do not believe that it's worth it, then I think tomorrow we're going to see a Barcelona team which is going to be like playing with their ass on fire. They're going to be outstanding. But I feel that if they also value that Sevilla game, I feel that they're going to try to kind of like not demand themselves too much. And that's when we can see some results or some chances being created against us. So we must be very careful with what we do, but I feel that Barcelona can get this win 2-0. So hopefully guys you have enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to drop us a like and leave us a subscribe. If you didn't, drop a dislike and tell us in the comment box down below why do you think you didn't like it and how we can improve. Follow me on social media as well. If you want to have more updates and talk to me within the game, you can do that by following me on Twitter and Instagram, and then also watch the 2 videos on screen that can certainly make your day a little bit more enjoyable. See you in the next one. Take care. Ciao.